Welcome, one and all. This is the Peace Dealer. I'm using new equipment right now, so bear with me here. But yeah, I hope you're ready for this webinar because this is where, in the transit of the sky in your life and within, things get very deep. Things get intensely deep, actually. This intensity comes from diving much deeper into the realms of emotions. So, first of all, I want to start this off by, I got my cards ready. We're going in this webinar. I want to start off by saying hi to everybody. I'm going to have to start doing that. Thank you for the shirt. The reason why I'm wearing this shirt is Cancer is all about passing on. And when I went to Nigeria, when Jupiter was transiting my 4th house, my grandma passed. I didn't know she would pass, but she passed. And, you know, this is her picture right here. This is, we all got a shirt for the funeral and everything. But yeah, certain very deep emotional issues that you never really expected to deal with are going to be dealt from the source. And there's really nothing you can do to run away. Thankfully, not everyone runs away from their emotions. And for those of you who've done the hard spiritual core emotional work, welcome to paradise. But I mean, if you have spiritual work to do, that's nothing horrible. That's kind of the reason why we came here in the first place. Regardless, do you hear me well? Do I sound a little low? Do I sound just right? Apologite. Now that we've started, now would be the best time. For those of you who saw me live, and let me just stop going over this. First of all, thank you for joining me. Thank you for those of you in the live chat who faithfully come through. Thank you for any newcomers. You're in for a treat. This is actually the webinar that activates all this energy that we've done. And I'll break it down pretty soon. Yes, Toby, this energy is super weird. So because of how I have my camera positioned, I'm looking forward at you, and this is me looking at the live chat, just so you know why I'm looking back and forth. But for those of you who've been faithfully, you know, in tune, you have to understand what you pay to the value of what you pay to join these webinars. You join me in doing the work, and I don't think I've really like advertised it or like shown that as much as I should have. Like I've kind of made it look like you're just joining me and I'm giving you information. But what do? We do rituals, we heal. That has been a cumulative effect. And this is regardless of whether you watch live or if you watch after we're live. You're still doing the work when you join us and do this. So done the webinar since I've started, you're going to find out that this is going to shift a lot. And when you go through emotional shifts with the ceremonies we do, especially if you also got the ceremony videos, you know, I need you to understand they're very cumulative. And I'm telling you this because some of you are going to start to feel a whole lot more sensitive to the stuff we do. Whereas before, you know what I'm saying? It might have just built because we had just started. So once again, thank you for joining me in this because the power of numbers is very profound, obvious. And you're going to really get a sneak peek of where we're headed into. So I did say in the previous live video to kind of get y'all hip to this that, you know, and like Lulu said, there's no psychic attacks. Like that, we're not going to have to worry about any of that getting in the way. I'm sorry. There's a new episode of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and my heart is finally happy now for my DBZ Abridged people. 59 is out. 59 is out. But anyway, what's very important about all of this, I did advise that this Cancer season ritual, you want to get some alcohol. You want to get some kind of drink. Even better if you don't drink, then that's straight, because that decision not to drink, you're substituting with another part of your willpower. But for those of you who you can drink, make sure at some point, at some part during this webinar, you drink, okay? And please, I know I'm a Gemini, can come across very youthful. I'm being 100% serious. So if you're watching this and you don't drink, you might want to drink for this. Like if you have alcohol, if you have time to go get a beer or wine, I would prefer wine because Venus is still in Taurus, or any kind of alcohol in your system. I will teach you what Sun through water signs is for. There's a reason why Cancer and Scorpio can outdrink you. All right. If you really want to inhabit the spirits of liquor, it's really going to aid the ceremony. I'm not telling you to get drunk though. I'm just telling you to like drink. You don't even really have to feel tipsy. Just get something in your system. But some of you may not have drinks where you are. That's totally fine. I remember Apollo was talking. Apollo asked, "Is cannabis just as effective?" Absolutely. Some of you don't drink, you smoke. If you have tobacco, you want to smoke that too. Maybe just one, everything in moderation. We need to take advantage of the water energies, and Neptune's in Pisces. So the alteration of our states is going to align everything. Someone said, or if you're Korean, that's amazing. So keep that in mind. I got some Crown Royal in the freezer. I bought that like, I don't know, 3 months ago. I haven't even opened it. I'm gonna open it now. So I'm gonna wait till I start doing the ceremony part. But other than that, shout out to Christopher Peace with cinnamon liquor and cannabis. So that's what I do. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna wait till we get into the healing portion, and I'm gonna take a couple shots of some Crown Royal. But anyway, this is what makes this very profound, because we already did the new moon in Aries, we already did the new moon in Taurus, we already have the new moon in Gemini. These are the preliminary, these are the fundamentals that get you ready for the real new year. In some charts, Cancer is the first house. Not some charts, but there are some sects of thoughts, it's few, where they will say the real first house is Cancer. I believe it's Aries, but it's just a different way of seeing it. The way this works, because Aries is the first house, then Libra could be the first house, Capricorn could be the first, Cancer could be first. It's just giving you a different perspective of identifying with one portion or facet first. So we're stepping into the next season. It's summer, the summer solstice. That's going to lead us into the fall, all right? And what's very profound about that in length is we needed to identify who we are in Aries, uncover the worth of that in Taurus, and then align our minds with the words we speak to prepare us for this, because you can't be prepared for this. This is the type of stuff that I couldn't tell you, because you would spend more time worrying about it. And it's like an army general or a president that's not going to tell the populace of something before it's too soon. All right? All-out spiritual warfare has sparked. Like, the moon is officially in Cancer. Remember what I said, whenever the moon's in Cancer, you get gaslighted. And this is really sparking this. There's the depth of emotion that's really being more profoundly dug into through just the energetics is inspiring everyone worldwide to really feel into who you are. So this is where we now revisit the Aries lesson. You know, I've identified that I'm a level 27 lightning sage. Like, this is who I am. And Gemini season blessed me with the thoughts of how to explain and express that. Well, the attitude of a lightning sage has to translate in Cancer season. Now I get to feel the electricity. I get to feel what it is. You know, what are my emotions? How do I feel about who I am? This is what makes the fourth house in Cancer an extension of Taurus, where you have to have self-esteem. Well, what's the extension of self-esteem? Comfort. When you have good self-esteem, you're comfortable in your own skin, and you really start to feel into who you are. This is really hard for me to put into words. I'm doing this. I'm talking. This is actually comical as hell because I'm an air sign with the Capricorn moon. And I'm going to talk to you about feelings. Did you see when I was doing Gemini season? I was like on it, like it was super easy. But you know, I'm going to talk about feelings. The one thing that I will like detach and suppress from on site. But see, when you have moon on Saturn, you can get away with that. Like people will advise you to be in your feelings, and you don't really have to listen to that because it's like, you don't have Saturn on your moon. But it's all good. What you're going to gain from this season is an advancement of your psychic power. So at every solstice shift, it's an activation of power. We've activated the awareness of our power and the identity. Now we're going to activate the feeling. This is the juice. This is when the color gets filled in to where you are. When we go into Libra season, this is when we're going to bring this power to others. And we're going to start dueling mofos. But before the duels, we have the psychic, energetic pettiness that's going to swamp through the veil. And this is why we're going to hit them preemptively with a lot of defense and a lot of, you know, inner work, inner healing, inner fortitude. So one thing about emotions, they can be messy, but they're actually the restoration. Water, you know, I got my Florida water here. Water is what we use. It's a lot of what we're made up of. And it has very powerful restorative qualities. The beautiful thing about Cancer, which I like to call the makeup artist, is that it allows one to really feel powerfully and profoundly into the core, just like Scorpio, of what someone or something feels like, and it can extend its healing energy there. That's why whenever I'm with a Cancer or I talk to a Cancer, I feel comfortable. That's just their aura. It's very holy. That's why when the dark side of Cancer could be very evil, because you're taking that, it's not the water or Cancer energy that's evil, it's the application of it towards light or dark. Shout out to King Mitchell in the building. So that being said, there's going to be different facets to where each person works with this energy. And the real reason why this is like all out spiritual warfare, okay, you need to not necessarily akin warfare in this dimension with spiritual warfare. Totally different. Only thing that's similar is the hierarchy and the ranks. We have attorney generals, which may not be on the battlefield, but do warfare over people's rights. We have actual war generals. We have lieutenants. Just like in the spiritual realm, you have demons who work under devils. You have angels who work under archangels. You have fairies. Don't think that just because Hollywood and Disney paints fairies out to be glittery, fairies will mess your ass up. Fairies will, ooh. Now I'm talking about the way you really spell with like the different spell, like the F-A-E, them phase. Fairies will mess your ass up. All right, if you mess with them. Okay, so just approach these beings objectively. Don't let what you see in the movies, you know, make you approach them very, you know, calmly, right? I had to say that. But anyway, it is what it is. And just like there are hierarchies in the real, you have hierarchies. Yeah, they are mad spiteful, Christopher. You also have like hierarchies in the spiritual. But one key difference is warfare here relies a lot on the ignorance of the populace and mass. Warfare here relies so much on propaganda, so that every country's media paints them out to be the hero. Like Korea, China, they're ahead of the game. They're like, we're not going to give you freedom. We're going to kill journalists that tell the truth. You know what I mean? Like, they don't play. It's only in America where you're starting, okay, not only in America, but it's in countries like America that allow for this freedom of speech, which is a huge deal because it's free, because, you know, people, the bad, well, I won't say there's a bad side of it, but you know what I mean? Like even in a country with free speech, the propaganda is still ripe. It doesn't affect as much people, but you need reasons to enter war. You need interests, okay, where people are at stalemates and people can, you know, yank each other by the balls with sanctions. It's a little different spiritually. And I'm saying that because if you think in a spiritual world war like it's region against region, you're not going to realize the spiritual war that's happening right now is anybody can get it. So it's you versus your friends versus your family versus that random person that you see at the store, because you have to be so solid in your emotional makeup where you don't take sides, you don't play favorites. Anybody in the moment who needs that emotional purging can get it. This is new moon with Mercury and Mars, the magician and the god of war, ready to project them feelings opposite the planet of death. So your attitude, whenever you go in any situation, whether you're about to infiltrate a castle or whether you're about to have a conversation, you have to be willing to die. And not everyone's like that. But if you're not willing to die, good luck. And listen, that's just your attitude. So I'm not saying you have to die, but your attitude, you have to be willing to charge forward to death. And this is deeply emotional. So Mars on Mercury is that irritating feeling opposite Pluto, because now there are unresolved feelings that have to be dealt with. It's squaring Jupiter, is squaring Uranus, so there's no escaping it. And this is like a cardinal portal of power opening so that you could literally evolve into greater feelings, all right? Some of you are loosening your illusions. Some of you have subconsciously held on to certain people because you know you'll have the illusion of love. Love is an illusion. Love is real, but there's a difference between real love and the illusion of love. Attaching feelings to someone that makes you feel good in your imagination because you know that's the only thing that's going to keep you happy and not depressed. Because once you take all that away, then you start to feel the depth of your feelings. Cancer season is going to bring it all up for the first 10 degrees. Next 10 days is going to be tough. And thank Goddess, because we need this. We need this toughness, because in a few short weeks, we're going to purge of some stuff that we've been stuck on for months. And stuff like, the only reason why we're expediting the process is because Leos have to get ready for their new moon. Like Leos are going to go through this even more intensely because it's their 12th house. So we need to purge this quickly so that we can now start this new destiny path of love. So before I get into the healing session, I do want to give y'all a short overview. What this is going to involve is from now to next week, we're going to reach a quarter square that's going to go into Libra. This Cancer season is going to be it, because the quarter square is going to be squaring Libra and Jupiter. The full moon is going to have Pluto. The other quarter square is going to have Uranus, and then it's going to be a dark moon in Cancer before Leo. It's a wrap. We might even have 2 Leo new moons. So everything is going to actually shift. A lot changed the last 3 months. Now we're going to take those changes and push forward cardinally with Cancer. There's a very intense door you're going to walk through. And I'm trying to say it's going to change, but the change is happening now. So it's going to shift so much. And it's going to, like, a lot of you have been wanting to shed that final layer of the onion, release some seals. This is it. This is it. Michael Jackson, This Is It. This Is It was the musical he was working on before they killed it. I mean, before he died. But anyway, if you are a fire sign, if you're an Aries, if you're a Leo, if you're a Sagittarius, then you're doing emotional purging. If you're an earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo, you're undergoing emotional calibration. If you are an air sign, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, you're undergoing emotional programming. And if you are a water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, you're undergoing emotional identification. The emotional identification is coming from examining your feelings and identifying which feelings reflect you and which feelings need to go. The emotional purging for the fire signs is very straightforward. What feelings do you have to purge? What feelings have to just... For the earth signs, the emotional calibration is going to have to do with what feelings have to be calibrated so that you can connect with others on an even emotional level. It's going to involve a lot of Virgo fine-tuning, how strongly you express your feelings to how not you express it. And then, of course, the air signs, you're going to be programming your emotions. You're going to let the feelings come up and you're going to say, this is how it should feel. This is how I want to feel about this, all right? Utilizing the strengths of what you can accomplish with each. As the moon transits and gets up to this Libra square, it's going to pass through Leo, it's going to pass through Virgo and give us a sneak peek of what this new karmic chapter of love is. But before we're ready to have courage in our hearts and love, we need to work on our feelings and have that sincerity. This Cancer season is conjunct, the new moon energy that we're carrying is Mars and Mercury. So people are blunt with their feelings and intense, like their life depends on it. And it's going to require you be sincere. It's going to require you say how you really feel about other people. This is why if you have a moon in Capricorn like me or a moon in Aquarius, you're Gucci. You don't have feelings for other people. You're indifferent. So you don't have to worry about offending anyone, since that'll offend people. But for those of you passionate and emotional people, you're going to have to open up about how you really feel. And it's not going to be pretty. But let me tell you something. What's pretty about Moon, Mercury, and Mars? There's nothing pretty about that. And Cancer in the battlefield, that's bloodshed. That's so much bloodshed. Opposite Pluto, you're going to have to go at people's necks, because if you don't, they're going to come for you. And this is where I'm saying, in this Cancer season, you're in a spiritual warfare, and Cardinal, it's projection wars. This is an unveiling of projection wars, to where even a lot of you do this battle mentally. Like your mind is projected in places, and your thoughts you'll be reacting to. You think you're schizophrenic. You're doing battle in different dimensions, where you're circumventing situations that would have happened now in the moment, because life is beyond this space and time. Some people don't do it mentally. Some people, all happens internally. Okay, so just keep that in mind, because the projection can be coming. What you may think you're thinking about, someone could be projecting. Social media brings the warfare to your face. Like outside of social media, someone could look at your picture, someone can think about you, you're feeling that projection, and then on the spot, you're dealing with it there. You're not waiting for you to see them in their face. That's just in case some of you get triggered. That's what's happening. Okay, so don't feel like you're crazy, you're just getting triggered. Once we pass into Libra, this is going to take this emotional energy, and this is where we're going to be tested on how sincere and balanced we can be. So that once we travel to the full moon, the great purge, this is when we pass through Scorpio. Let me tell you guys, that moon in Scorpio is going to be everything. That moon in Scorpio is going to be everything. You're not going to be only aware of your true feelings of the sitch, but the moon in Scorpio is going to key you into the depth, and then it's going to be trining Neptune, whoa Nelly. So that being said, it's going to come into the light in Sagittarius and then purge in Capricorn. So for those of you who purchased the webinar, we're about to go into the healing session. After the healing session, we're going to break down by sign what to expect. We're going to go a lot more into what the tribes are doing. And we're going to pull the oracle cards. I got Osho Zen this time. I got the Tower. And I got Choose Love. For those of you who are having sound and video issues, it's going to be on your end. So keep asking the chat just in case. But everything on this side is Gucci. And some of you Like Nasiha is a Sag, like she has a Scorpio moon. So some of you are gonna get interfered. So let us know if you're getting interfered. We'll send you some energy so that you will see how it works. A whole lot of these spiritual dynamics are going to make themselves clear because we're in warfare now. There's no more time for trickery and games. That was Gemini season. A lot of y'all are now super aware. And once you see things you can't unsee, this now is your signal like, okay, I'm in the game, pops, or chief, or coach, and we're ready to move in. So that being said, before we get into the healing session, yes, D, you can start pouring your wine. I'm gonna go get my crown because I'm really serious about this. I'm gonna suspend my moon sign or my moon sign, and we're gonna get jiggy with it. So another key feature of what's gonna happen is we're gonna do a banishment. Gemini season, we did invocations because we had to get your mind ready for the BS that you're about to go through. Some of you about to go through some straight BS. And you had to go through Gemini season so your attitude could be right. Because Cancer season, you're going to have to feel things you don't want to feel. And your attitude from Gemini season is going to get you through like, oh, it's all good. I remember who I am. I remember who I am. I'm going to get through it. All right? Just letting you know. Just letting you know. So there's a darkness within you that is evolving. For those of you who have not suppressed your dark side, you're the winner. For those of you who you have, this is going to be a battle for your life because that seal is going to release and it's evolving. So you have to let it express itself. And that's really the part of the projection war where people aren't going to have power over their darkness and they're going to be projecting it at others. And you have to clap back. Last thing I'll say once again, this is not the time for you to play Mother Teresa, or even Mother Teresa's a gangster. This is not the time for you to play, I need to heal everyone. You're going to have to look at people emotionally suffering and let them suffer. Because sometimes what people do is they always go to their assistance when what they were supposed to do, what that person was supposed to do was sit in their own suffering and learn how to heal themselves. But if you keep on healing them, they're not ever going to learn how to heal themselves. And then when they're in a position where they have to, you screwed them over because you kept pampering them. This season, let people suffer. Once again, like if you're a moon in Capricorn or moon in Aquarius, you're not gonna feel bad. We let people do that all the time. Sometimes we even slice them and say something insensitive. If you're a moon in Cancer, if you're a moon in Pisces, it might not be, because it's not. You guys think that moon in Cancer, it cares a lot. Moon in Cancer will feel it. So they're like, damn, I need to help this person so I don't feel this empathy because it's dry. Moon in Pisces will feel it too. It'll be like, damn, like, I don't want to feel this. I have to help them. Sorry, you got to let them suffer. You have to like guard yourself. You got to let people suffer. Okay? So their dark sides can teach them something. All right? Word. I'll be right back. Let me get my crown.